Miss Flo's here on location at Hiawatha Art Space with Mr. Rick Dupree. Hey.
Hey, good to be here. How's everyone doing?
All right. So Rick has been cast for the role of Cab Calloway. How familiar are you with Cab Calloway and his history, and how do you like his particular character in this script?
Well, first off, I'm a huge Cab Calloway fan. I just love his style. There's just something about him. And, one of the reasons I think I gravitate toward Cab Calloway is that my dad was a tap dancer. And we got some pictures of my dad in kind of like the suit with the tails and everything. And so it brings back some of the memories of my dad's gifts kind of did skip me. I can't sing or dance, which leads me to when I told my wife that you had cast me for this, she looked at me and kind of had this look on her face, and then she said, well, is she mistaking you for Sam Townsend? And I'm like, oh, wow, that's cold. That is just, there ain't no support, no faith in me or what have you. So I said, you have a little faith. I'm going to show you. And then this morning, I said, yeah, I'm going to do the interview. And she's like, now remind me, what role are you going to play? And I looked at her like, I didn't even want to answer. I said, Cab Calloway. Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't want to hear it now. Okay, I got a daughter who can sing and dance. She's going to help me do it.
How long have you been involved in community theater, or are you involved at all in community theater?
Yeah, I am. God, it was probably, I want to say 10, 12 years ago or so. I can't remember exactly, but I got this urge to do theater. And my daughter, as I said, she went to Howard University. I mean, she's the performer in the family, but I've always kind of performed. And then my mom, which my daughter didn't know, she played Antigone in one of the plays, and we had this picture of her in a church play years ago. But yeah, I actually called Isaiah Anderson Jr. and I said, hey man, do you know of any like adult theater classes or whatever? And he said, well, I'll let you know. And this was again at least 10, 12 years ago. And I said, well, let me know. Anyway, long story short, he called me. He said, hey man, not a class, but he said, I'm going to be directing this play, and I think you'd be good for this part. He said, Umeme, everybody knows Umeme died, he's got rest his soul, my brother. Isaiah said, well, Umeme is casting, but he's in another play, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do both. And could you come and do this? I said, man, this was on, I think, Monday. And I said, man, I would love to. I said, however, I was playing basketball. Yeah, it was in 2005 because I was playing basketball and I ruptured my Achilles on the Saturday. So I was in crutches, get ready to go to surgery. And he said, okay, well, Anyway, calls me about a month later and says, hey, yeah, it's not going to work out with Umeme. He's just too busy with the other role. Can you do it? And I said, well, I'm going to be on crutches and what have you. Anyway, came and went through all the rehearsals. I was about a month behind, had to get off book. And I was on crutches almost the whole time, and we opened up Thanksgiving weekend, and I was finally off the crutches, and I was limping a little bit, but I played an older dude. Mr. Cooper is in the Chris Jordan play, Sadie's Kitchen, and so that was my start, and just fell in love with it. I love it because you bring out the characters and some of the special things that they have to offer. So I have enjoyed it and looking forward to this project.
Wonderful. This project you're working on with regard to the Black Panthers. So we're going to close the interview with having you tell us a little bit about that project.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I'm excited. My son, who's a filmmaker, Marcus Dupree, and I have partnered with Aaron and Elmer Dixon. They're the co-founders of the Seattle chapter of the Black Panther Party. And we are producing a documentary on the Seattle chapter. Seattle has so many significant things that they did. Number one, Seattle was the first chapter established outside of California. Within days of the free breakfast program starting in Oakland, it started here in Seattle. The Carolyn Downs, a family medical center, is the only free medical clinic that the Panthers started that is still in operation today. And Seattle was the longest running. They were the last chapter to close when the Black Panther Party basically kind of dissolved. And so it's just a story. There's an incredible story. We just got back the first week of August. We were down in the Bay Area for a week filming. We interviewed Elaine Brown, who, if you don't know, you should know who she is. But if you don't know, the first woman when Huey P. Newton went into exile, she was the first woman to lead the Black Panther Party and did some significant things. And at 78, she still is fiery as ever, you know. And yeah, but it was beautiful because as you go throughout the city of Oakland, there are murals and different things all around the city that are honoring and celebrating the Black Panthers. And both Aaron and Elmer talked about, man, it's such a wonderful feeling to see that we're being recognized, what we did. And what's interesting is that I don't think most of us, myself included, understand what it takes when someone dedicates their life to a cause that's bigger than themselves. And that's what all of these men and women did. They were sold out for making conditions, making life better for Black people, you know, and for all people, but Black people in particular. And even though the Black Panther Party is not in existence today as it was, you know, back when it started back in the mid '60s and went through up till the early '80s, these individuals are still working to better the community for Black people. And as Elaine Brown said, she said, you know, this is our life. She said 24/7. This is what we're about. And she said, I'm 50 plus years into this, and this is who I am. And they've made that commitment. So we're excited to tell the story. Long story short, we plan to finish filming by October, and then we'll go into editing and post-production and look for this to be entered into film festivals in the spring of 2022. So we are excited to celebrate and just tell the story of the Seattle chapter of the Black Panthers.
That's an amazing project. I want to thank you and your son for that. This has been a conversation with Rick Dupree.